Hey, you guys, welcome to the podcast. You already know who it is, Eminem, Max, and Milton. Let's get it. I know I didn't send you this topic this week, Max, so my bad if I'm catching you off guard, but we have to address it because it's current, it's new. Devont'a Freeman, now the highest paid running back in the NFL, 5 years, $41.25 million. He's really come on the last two seasons. Last year, just over 1,000 yards, 11 TDs, similar production the year before. As far as total value of the contract, Falcons now have the highest paid receiver and the highest paid running back in the league. Max, what's your reaction to this new deal for Devont'a Freeman?
He got paid. He got paid. I mean, he's good. Because since I am a Panthers fan, I have to see him twice a year.
So, like, who's a bigger threat, do you think? Like, when you see, because Atlanta has one of the best backfield duos in the league. Are you more afraid of Devont'a Freeman or Tevin Coleman?
Devont'a Freeman. But the only reason I hesitated was because Coleman catches you by surprise. Because we got Freeman in here, so you got to pay attention. You got to make sure you're all on your P's and Q's. And when he comes out, when you see him leaving, it's like,
I mean, there's not.
All right, cool. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Devont'a, he has, like, I guess the production and everything. But I mean, Tevin Coleman, I feel like if he was
can be
about
explosive. But...
Yeah, he can. I was thinking about this when I was thinking of putting this topic together. Like, the Falcons, they get all that slack because they didn't run the second half of the Super Bowl. That was after, or I think Devont'a Freeman either left in the second quarter or maybe sometime in the second half, and they completely abandoned the run game. So maybe that shows they don't trust Tevin Coleman to be that bell cow. And I mean, you see the contract with Freeman.
I mean, how much are you really gonna trust in the biggest game of the year? Your backup.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's nothing bad against him. It's just who got us here, whose back are we willing to ride on, and can we trust this kid to hold the rock when there is a desperate, hungry, proven to be strong team trying to do anything they can to get back into a game. Nothing against him, but I'm not gonna want to put somebody in that position and me put my faith in him all the time, as opposed to me having a quarterback that can throw lights out when he's on. Right, I'll be all right.
Also, this deal made me think of Le'Veon Bell, and I have it point right here. Freeman is making $8 million a year, 8.25 or 8.5, something like that. Since 2015, Devont'a Freeman is second in the league with over 3,000 scrimmage yards. Second to only, and guess who the scrimmage yards leader is since 2015? Guess.
Since 2015, in every position.
Yeah. Devont'a Freeman is second.
I want to say Le'Veon. That's the only person because he catches out the backfield and runs.
That's what I thought. It's his teammate, Julio Jones.
Yeah, Julio was my second one. Julio was my second guess.
I would have thought like it would have been either Le'Veon or like Antonio Brown, just because, I mean, you got to look at it this way.
Antonio was my third guess.
Yeah.
Well, you got to think about this. I'm sorry to cut you off. How many games did this man go over 250?
Julio?
Julio.
That is true. That is true.
He has like big chunks.
I think 2 years ago he had like 1,800 yards, something like that. But I just say it's spectacular just because Antonio Brown, like, scrimmage yards includes, kickoff returns, punt returns. Antonio Brown does punt returns too. That's adding on to your scrimmage yards, and Julio has that just basically like strictly off of receiving. So that's crazy.
Yeah, but what is his average per punt return? Like 6-7 yards, and he's getting popped. He comes out for a play or two. You know what I'm saying? Then he comes back. Like punt returns, I think special teams is completely taken out of the NFL because you moving the ball up 5 yards on kickoff.
I hate that.
There's no more returns. These dudes are just sitting going, yo, just kick it out the end zone, and I get to keep my job. Cool. I get to kick it 5 extra yards closer to kick it an extra 10 total. Because these guys are not kicking the ball out the end zone like that before. A 5-yard difference equals you hitting it to the front row.
If you have a strong leg kicker and you have all those gunners coming out there.
And that's why the field goal misses and extra points going up, because all they care about is, yo, kick it out the end zone, man. We don't want
to put the focus on your power.
That's
And that
it.
costs like special teams players like the gunners and all that jobs. I don't like that because
If you
some
look
people.
at it, it's a lot of second string guys now.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, I made the team on special teams. It's no, dude, you made it because you're the third string. And that's it. Now everybody on the 53-man roster is able to play. Like, all right, that's cool. Like, all right, that's your team gets stronger. But what about the dudes that just made the team because of special teams?
Yeah.
You're gone. Like I had a friend. Nobody's really gonna know him. He got cut. He got picked up after the draft. Mm-hmm. And was a slot receiver on the Carolina Panthers. He was signed for 4 weeks, and he missed the last cut. And his only chance to make the team would have been special teams at that point. Mm. And he got cut. And it's like, oh, why did he get cut? Why did he get cut? Because we can go, oh, let's double dip our money in Ted Ginn. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, now Ted Ginn's not back there. Who did we put back there? Philly Brown? Okay, those guys are both first and second string receivers. You know what I'm saying? Just double them up. You don't need to sign a whole punt returner anymore. Yeah. Because they're not really doing much. Yeah, so I see why he does that, but he doesn't get a lot of yards.
Yeah, the good teams usually, they're, I guess, let's say, third to second, and even some teams starting receivers, like, you know, they don't go out and sign people strictly for punt returns anymore. They either have it as their starting defensive back, second string, or maybe even receivers. So I guess that pushes out those bubble guys even more. And it even pushes out, you see fullbacks. Teams don't even carry fullbacks anymore. They just load up on tight ends, really.
Yeah. Like, you get what? Before, when it was power running game, you had a pass blocking or a run blocking tight end. Mostly run blocking tight end. And then you got a tight end that can catch. Now you got dudes that have to do both or else you're a scrub.
Yeah.
Or considered like a half of a player. Look at Jimmy Graham.
Jimmy Graham is overrated.
He's overrated. That man can catch the ball. Don't tell me he can't catch the ball.
He can. He's like
but he doesn't pass block or run block, so it's kinda like, you're not that great.
Which is why I was confused he went to a run blocking team like the Seahawks.
But they utilize their tight end.
Like in the past, I mean, you do, because, I mean, you have Doug Baldwin, and it's like, who else? Yeah. So I get they want that, like, extra receiving threat, but I feel like Jimmy Graham doesn't have that stuff. You know, that
he did when he was on
the Saints. That's a finesse team.
Yeah, he's a finesse guy. He's 6 foot, what? 240
For a basketball player.
Yeah. And then... Oh, I'm too pretty. I don't want to get my hands broken by blocking a linebacker. Okay, but you tell this man, hey, fake cut block, go into the flat.
Go get you the ball.
Yeah, he gonna run that route.
Off the ball. That's why I always like in his prime, you know, when he was like having those crazy years with the Saints. I always said that Gronk's way ahead of him. It's not even close because Gronk will put his head in there. He'll block.
Gronk will pancake somebody.
Mm-hmm. He's injured all the time, but I mean, at least he puts his effort.
When he's not broken.
Yeah. But final take on Devont'a Freeman's contract. Now, I just read you off the stat that Julio Jones and Devont'a Freeman are the top two scrimmage yard leaders in the NFL since 2015. Devont'a Freeman's making $8 million a year. Antonio Brown turned down $12 million a year. And, you know, we can look at where Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell are ranked, but they're probably third or fourth. So, do you see this as Julio Jones and Devont'a Freeman being a better receiver running back duo than Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell?
No.
Why?
You have Julio Jones, who, in my opinion, outranks Antonio Brown.
He's your best receiver.
Yeah, because he has size, and he has speed, and he has hands, and he's willing to do the intangibles like break off a route and just come back to his quarterback. And when he's even not getting the ball, he'll still block downfield. Mm-hmm. You know? So you kind of have to look at him a little bit different as opposed to just a speed guy. And his routes are really good.
For his size.
But Le'Veon is the most untouchable running back in the league right now. In terms of his patience, vision, side to side, and he can just not make you miss, but he's just going to jump over you.
He could run you over, jump over you, whatever. I'm actually very surprised by his power.
Devont'a Freeman, he's good, but I mean, if you put him on another team, he's not doing that. If you put Le'Veon Bell on another team, he's going to do that. So, like, you can't say the duo is stronger because Julio outranks Antonio Brown by, on a scale of 1 to 10, maybe 1.5 because of size and all, like, whatever. And the outrank of Devont'a Freeman and Le'Veon Bell is a 1.5 too. In my opinion, like they're not that far off. It's just that their play styles are different, so they look different.
I'll agree. Like, I don't know. I just got to go back to like what I see when I'm watching the game, and like, yeah, it is. I think this is a instance where numbers lie, because like I said, Devont'a Freeman, Julio Jones, number 1 and 2. But just when you see how Antonio Brown's the best route runner in the league, he he's not the best punt returner, but he has punt return potential. Anytime he has the ball in his hands, he's a threat to take it the distance. And then, like you said, Le'Veon Bell, best running back in the league. Devont'a Freeman, I don't even know where people would rank him. I don't even think people have Devont'a Freeman in their top 3 running backs, honestly.
I don't think so.
Yeah. So it's like Antonio Brown, Julio Jones, depending on who you ask, they're not good. It's going to go 1 and 2. Devont'a Freeman, not even top 3 at his position. Most people consider.
I put him at number 2 in the division. So
Freeman?
He can't be number 1 in the league. I mean, I'm saying it because I'm biased, but if you look at if you switched teams, he would not do the same thing on the Carolina Panthers that Jonathan Stewart did.
Okay. I can see that.
And Jonathan Stewart has plays, you know what I'm saying? Like, he has yards. The numbers aren't always there, but you look at his stats at the end of the game, this dude's scoring a touchdown. You know what I'm saying? He's good for at least 1. And so is Mike Tolbert. Mike Tolbert's scoring every other game. You get in the 10-yard line, Mike Tolbert.
Is he a running back, fullback, or just fat?
He's a 300-pound running back. He's the greatest.
I see a lot of stuff in the backfield. I'm like, boy, go be a short center or something.
I think we cut him, though.
Huh?
I think we got rid of him.
Dang.
Yeah, I wasn't happy.
That's crazy.
That's another one for the Gettleman. The Gettleman machine.
All right, this is Max and Milton. You're now listening to The Pylon. New quarterback in Miami. They didn't trade for anyone. Didn't pick up some CFL guy. Didn't sign Colin Kaepernick. Yawn. Which, before we get into the nitty-gritty of Jay Cutler going to Miami, I'm going to address it right now. The big elephant in the room. Obviously, every time a quarterback not named Colin Kaepernick gets signed, I am personally bothered by it, and you guys know why. But I'm willing to sit this one out. I allude to relationships a lot on this channel, and it's because relationships make the world go round. Kaepernick justifiably should not go to the Miami Dolphins, and it's his fault. He ruined it from the moment he wore that Fidel Castro t-shirt. Any other team, Seattle, Baltimore, wherever, I'm disappointed in owners for not signing him. But I'm okay with Miami passing on him. You wear a Fidel Castro t-shirt, don't expect to go somewhere that houses a lot of Cuban rejects. Now, back to Jay Cutler. Relationship with Adam Gase. Best year ever under him, which that year, 21 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. That, Max, is Jay Cutler at his peak. Jay Cutler's always been accused of mentally checking out and not giving a crap about the game, yet you pry him out of retirement and expect him to give 2 flips more than the one he did when he was playing? When you're retired, you're worried about your kids, your wife, you're starting a new job. You're not even thinking about football, the preparation side in Jay Cutler's case. Max, Jay Cutler to Miami, what's your reaction?
Awful. Absolutely awful. You did not get better with him on your team. What was the point? What is the point? You just wasted money, and you're probably going to get some bad publicity because how many people are going to look at you saying you had to look for a quarterback and you chose Jay Cutler as opposed to some guy who actually wants to play in Colin Kaepernick? Are you serious? Are you serious? The guy who sits there and throws 3 interceptions in a row, and then you see him on the sideline, and he's just sitting here looking down, got the whole iPad in his face to look at plays, and he's just, yo, what do you think we should do after the game? Like, that's what he looks like. And you passed up on Colin Kaepernick, a double threat quarterback what is his ratio? I'm pretty sure it's 75% for touchdowns to interceptions. He was 16-4.
Yeah, Caps. Yeah, last year he was 16 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Yeah,
are you kidding me? This guy almost threw that in a game. Like what? Like in your logical mind of saying, let's add value to my team and let's win games. A dual threat quarterback who threw 16-4 and he only played in what 12 games?
I think like
or
8.
less. Something crazy. And then we have another guy who sits in the pocket, can barely move, and would rather go throw an interception than either take a sack or throw the ball away. Okay. Milton, something's wrong here.
I'm not disagreeing, like, because I'm very, very pro Kaepernick. He should have been got picked up. But in this instance, just because people are saying owners are the main reason owners are afraid to take Colin Kaepernick is because they're afraid their fan base is going to boycott, they're going to lose money. Listen, all those other fan bases, they're talking jack crap. They're still going to watch their football. They're still going to go buy season tickets.
Man,
but
Miami
Dolphins
fans like pain.
They
like pain. They dealt with Tannehill. They have not really won like that in how long? Tell me the last great team that they had, or even really good team that they had. Yup. Exactly my point. So nothing recent. Who are you losing? Them fans is dedicated. If they say I'm a Miami Dolphins fan, you like pain.
Are they Cuban? Because that's a whole different issue. Like your whole family's getting tortured.
That's irrelevant.
They're in Miami.
That's irrelevant.
Okay.
I know a lot of Miami Dolphins fans
that are Cuban.
That are not even Cuban. Like, that's irrelevant, dude. Like he
do they even have football in Cuba? I don't even think Cubans watch football.
Yeah, it's spelled with a U and an O and one L. But like, you can't.
That might be a point right there. That really might. It's Colin Kaepernick. All these Cubans are going to protest. What
the Cubans that you don't have coming to the game?
Say you're going to lose like 4 season tickets.
Oh, bet. Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay, so now let me ask you this: how many fans do you lose if you sign Colin Kaepernick?
Probably none.
Not a lot. Not an overwhelming percentage.
Not much.
How many do you gain if you guys start winning?
A lot.
Nah, but you chose a guy that's going to throw three picks in a game and going to let you win, what, 1 or 2 close games out of 6? Out of 6, he's going to win 2?
Look at it this way. You say that the Miami Dolphins haven't been good. They made the playoffs last year, but that says, one of the last seeds in the AFC. The AFC is always very wide open. The Miami Dolphins, the past few years, they've just been one of those 8-8 to 10-6 teams that can either or be in the playoffs in the last seed or just miss it completely. So I looked up some numbers. Jay Cutler and Ryan Tannehill, production-wise, are the same quarterbacks. I'm going to read it off. Jay Cutler, the most TDs he's thrown in a season, 28. The most Ryan Tannehill, 27. 7.2 yards per completion for his whole career. Ryan Tannehill's at 7 even. Jay Cutler, 61.9% completion percentage. Ryan Tannehill, 62.7. When you go into the averages of it, Jay Cutler averages 21.6 touchdowns per season, and I admitted the seasons where he played maybe like 3-5 games, something like that. Ryan Tannehill, 21.2. 21.6. 21.2. Numbers-wise, these guys are similar, so the Dolphins are replacing Ryan Tannehill production-wise with Ryan Tannehill. Either or is not going to make a difference. Like, if the Miami Dolphins are going to make the playoffs this year...
one more past the season.
like, that's not just like... whatever. You're paying them $10 million. Now, the only reason...
You can't fix stupidity, man.
You can't, but has Ryan Tannehill even been one of the better... He's been a middle-of-the-pack quarterback.
Yeah.
Jay Cutler, middle of the pack to bottom of the half. Like...
Nah, he had his time in Chicago.
Yeah, with Adam Gase. But what I'm saying is that the most touchdowns that Adam Gase got out of Jay Cutler, 28.
But that team, and look at that too. Like that number might be inflated because that defense when he did that was probably nasty.
Kaepernick, if I wasn't in Miami, just based off of, you know what you're getting with Jay Cutler. You're getting Ryan Tannehill. And with Ryan Tannehill, you either or make playoffs. And you're not making the playoffs because of Ryan Tannehill. You're not making the playoffs because of Jay Cutler. A lot has to go right. If the Miami Dolphins make the playoffs this year, it's because the AFC is once again weak, and they're squeaking in as a 6th seed.
If that, don't they play the Patriots twice?
Yeah,
2 losses.
Yeah, but I mean they made it.
And not even just 2 losses. That's like 2 exposure losses. So like, what I mean by exposure losses is throughout the course of those 2 games, you release a lot of information about yourself because you have to play at a very high level throughout the entire course of the game twice. You're pulling out all the stops to beat this team because they perform at such a high frequency.
Just lay down.
Well,
I'll stay healthy.
If you know you're gonna lose, all right, maybe I'm gonna hold some cards to my chest, but they never do. They go balls to the wall, lose. Balls to the wall, lose. Now, why? This is where the exposure comes in. How many other teams get to look at the film of you playing the Patriots? Of you releasing everything to beat them one time, and you still lost. So now we just go, all right, cool. They do this, and they lost. They did this, and they lost. Hey, guys, when we play the Dolphins, let's do either one of the 2. Our percentages are really high now because we know what to do. We know what to look for. This is the formations that they're going to do. This is the trick plays. This is what to look for. Here's the double, triple moves on the receivers. They do this run package. This is how they block on the line. And this is how they play defense. You expose yourself.
But one thing they do have going for them is that, well, not they. One thing Jay Cutler has going for him is that they have a very high chance of still finishing second in the division, which, you know, once you're 7-9, 8-8, when you get to playoff times, once you're finishing around those records, if other teams are falling off, you could squeak in because Jets are picking first overall next year. That's confirmed. I just leaked that. Milton Woolley just reported New York Jets have #1 overall pick for the 2018 draft. Bills ain't gonna do anything. Yeah, like the Bills aren't a threat. The Jets are going to be the worst team. So really, if you just do your job and sweep those teams, don't let the Jets get their Super Bowl early by beating you at the end of the season to get their 1 win of the season, but still got the first overall. Like, as long as you don't let that happen, the Miami Dolphins are doing themselves a favor by finishing second in the division and just hoping every other AFC team is just as bad, if not worse, and they can find themselves in the playoffs again, getting swept in the wild card round by Baltimore.
You even think they're making the playoff? I don't even think they'll make the wild card.
But if they do, it's going to be as the last spot.
I don't see them making even the wild card. You got a poor decision maker that has to play the Patriots twice.
But look at the other divisions. Now that I'm thinking about it, the AFC South is trash.
Yeah, but who else is in the AFC? That's what you got to look at. You're not making the playoffs. I don't care.
There could be 2. I said it last year, but it didn't happen. But oh wait, no, it did happen. Yeah, it did happen. Raiders did make playoffs. So you got two teams in the AFC West. They can make They are going to make playoffs because it's going to be probably Raiders and.
Yes.
I think I want to say Chiefs. Actually, I don't even know.
I don't know if I would say Chiefs, but
the arrow's pointing up on the Chargers. Broncos, like you always have to. The point is, 2 of the AFC West teams are going to make the playoffs.
Yeah, the Broncos have to bounce back.
Yeah.
So
really, it just leaves that one spot open for Miami, because one of the AFC West teams is going to take the 5th seed, and so then you have whatever 8-8 team decides to squeak in.
All right, so I might have Oakland. Denver has to bounce back. They spent too much money on that defense. So I'm going to say Denver. Baltimore. Pittsburgh.
Oh. That's what I'm saying right there. That's what I'm saying right there is that. So you got 2 teams in the AFC West. The AFC West is overall better than the AFC North. If Baltimore is challenging for a playoff position, that means they're challenging for that last spot. We're already hurt, by the way. And the season hasn't even started yet, and half our team is down. So if Miami can just hang on to a mediocre record and we falter towards the end of the season when I guess there's something in the water in Baltimore where we keep tearing stuff and breaking stuff left and right, they could sneak in again and get their ass beat by whoever. What the AFC West team?
I really don't see them. I really don't see them making the playoffs. You have New England coming out AFC East.
I'll say it's a.
I can see Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's coming out of the North.
Yeah.
As the number 1 seed. Sorry.
I haven't done my prediction video yet, but it could change, guys.
And then I have Indy coming out of AFC South. And then I have Oakland for real coming out the West.
Yeah.
And then your wild cards are who?
The second
Kansas
team,
City.
The second team in the AFC West. They'll take the 5th spot.
Yeah.
So that only leaves one more spot. One more spot.
Yeah, Kansas City's coming out the West. And then that last spot not coming up for grabs for Miami at all. Because you also have Cincinnati and Baltimore. Are you kidding me? Dude, they're not making the playoffs.
I'll try to be a humble fan. I don't know about Baltimore. But
okay, fine. Let's say they don't make it. You don't think Cincinnati's gonna smack that division up and get second?
That last spot could probably go to Cincinnati then. Yeah, I would.
I'm giving Cincinnati at least the 6th seed.
Yeah, I would believe in Cincinnati over the Dolphins at this point, but you never know. Because wait, look at it this way. Division strength.
Right.
Baltimore's gonna steal one from Cincinnati. They might get swept by Pittsburgh. What if Cleveland's on their stuff one day?
Man, you don't shut up.
Miami's not losing to the Jets. If that happens,
Miami's not gonna lose to the Jets, which is fine. I'm not saying they're not in the hunt, but they're not getting that spot. They can beat the Jets. They can beat Buffalo.
Sweep them.
So that's what? So you think that's 3 wins?
4. They're sweeping Buffalo.
They're sweeping Buffalo Jets too?
Yeah, the worst team, number 1.
All right. I'm giving
16.
I'm giving a split to Buffalo though, so I will give them 3, and then that's it. And then they're 3-3 in the division, right? So they'll be second, which I'm not arguing, but
who knows? Maybe
I'm giving them second, but Cincinnati, Cleveland already is getting swept by everybody, right? So they're 0-6 in the division. Pittsburgh, they're winning a majority of their games. Now the question is, how many games is Cincinnati going to win compared to Baltimore? Then I see them splitting 1-1.
We are.
So
yeah.
So now it's like, all right, that's kind of up for grabs. Who has the head-to-head and then most points, and then Indy's coming out the South, and then Oakland's coming out of the West.
Final point with this whole Jay Cutler thing, I will say.
And you also got Denver in the West, and then you got Kansas City.
I mean,
there's no chance. There's no chance Miami's coming. No, but there's no chance Miami's coming. If all of them are in the hunt, Miami drops down every single team that's in the hunt because they're going to be the worst team that's in the hunt. It's gonna happen. They're gonna be in the hunt, and all of these teams Kansas City, Denver. I don't have faith in them. So I'm not even going to say them. Baltimore and Cincinnati and Buffalo are all going to be in the hunt at one point in time.
My team more than I do.
At one point in time, right? Let's even take Baltimore out of there. At one point in time, at week 14, they're going to say, all these teams are in playoff contention. Miami can make the playoffs if every one of them lose 2 out of the next 3 games. That's what their scenario is going to be.
Don't question it with the AFC.
Gonna happen.
Don't question it with the AFC.
No, because one of them are going to play each other. They always play division games in the end of the season.
That is true.
One of them has to play each other. And if that one team miraculously pulls a whole 50-50 chance of winning, saying, hey, we're in the same division. If you win, I lose. You go to the playoffs. I go to the playoffs. Cool. If I win and you lose, I go to the playoffs and you're 50-50. Cool. Either way, Miami is not in the playoffs. They're not.
I will bring it back to Jay Cutler right now. All right.
He's done.
Wait, hold on.
Why are we talking about him?
Hold on. Miami made the playoffs last year with Ryan Tannehill only throwing 19 touchdowns.
Yeah, that was when Oakland wasn't beating everybody. That was when Denver had the downest of years. on a whole Super Bowl lull without Peyton Manning.
Just say 19
right?
touchdowns.
No. But look at actually
touchdowns.
what happened. But look at what happened.
Yeah, Derek Carr went down.
Bad for them him to have a good season and be like,
you always prepare for injuries, though. You always prepare for the worst.
You always prepare for the worst, but
so
the worst happened and you barely scratched the surface.
Expect it to happen again. It happens every single year. Some catastrophic injury happens.
I'm not worried about the injury. I'm talking about as a team.
Yeah, so you saw how much
lower.
You saw how much it affected Oakland once Derek Carr went down. That team they had the division in their hand. Right. Once Derek Carr went down, that whole entire team went down.
But that's fine.
But they made playoffs as the I think 4th seed just based off of the strength of having a great year. What I'm saying is that
they won that division.
No, Kansas City did last year. The whole reason Kansas City won the division was because Derek Carr got hurt. So that's what I'm saying. Just wait till one of these prominent quarterbacks go down. Let's say another big injury happens, like let's say Pittsburgh. Let's say Le'Veon Bell goes down and Big Ben's hurt. It opens up a spot for another team.
You understand the kinds of football gods you have to piss off or pay off.
It happened to Oakland last year.
Yeah, but all right. You have Oakland, Kansas City, instant contenders for that division. The only chance you have is if Jacksonville, Houston, Tennessee.
Don't sleep on Tennessee.
Indianapolis.
Don't sleep on Tennessee.
But that's exactly what I'm saying. That division is so wide open. You can have somebody make the wild card in there too because they're just not as bad as Miami. Like that division's wide open because Indy's kind of up in the air. I don't know where they are. Jacksonville. We're about to see what happens to Houston tonight because they're playing my Panthers, and you know.
We're gonna get that.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna do that because I want to,
All right, I'm not. Just for the reference, like I'm not saying Miami's a lock to go in there. I'm just saying with the AFC West, with the AFC, everything's a possibility. That's all I'm saying.
There are some certainties like.
Yeah,
Miami not making the playoffs.
The only certainties in the AFC are this: New England,
yes,
Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. No. Yeah. This year, yeah. And the fact that Oakland's on the upswing.
Yeah, thank you. I didn't want to say Oakland specifically. Oakland's a certainty, but they are on the upswing.
They're on a major.
That's a certainty.
You understand what happens if they get Calvin next year?
Calvin's not gonna come out. We can daydream all day. We're gonna talk about Max's best friend Christian McCaffrey coming up next. You're not listening to the Pylon. All right, Max, we're talking about your boy, Christian McCaffrey.
Fournette?
Yeah. Okay. Word is he's lighting it up in camp, it seems. And I know you bench more than Christian McCaffrey, which is why you're probably disappointed.
By a lot.
But Jonathan Stewart, your starter, he said he's unstoppable. No one can guard him one-on-one. Luke Kuechly, he's been a fan of McCaffrey since day one. I saw one video where he got the better of the best linebacker in the league on a route in training camp. And
route.
Okay, the preseason game is going on right now, and Christian McCaffrey got his burn. What I think is what's most notable is that people are talking about him strictly being a slot receiver, and I was like, no, he's not going to be a slot receiver. He can line up in the slot, but the dude's a running back. He's a finesse running back. I watched a little bit of him on the field before you came over, and it wasn't bad.
Was it good?
It was okay. It was okay.
It was okay. Is it something that you want to see from your top 10 draft pick?
He did not look like a number 8 overall pick, and he certainly did not look like he could carry a 20 to 30 touch load.
He's not. We have 4 running backs in the game a lot of times. Or often. Let's just say often. We have Cam counts as a running back. We had Mike Tolbert. He counted as a running back. Oh, my bad. I said 4. I don't know where I got 4 from. But
I mean, Whitaker gets some burn, doesn't he?
Yeah, Whitaker does. Fozzie does.
And then you have Stewart.
And Cameron Artis-Payne. We have hella running backs on our team, which is why I didn't understand why we needed Christian McCaffrey. He's nothing but a smaller Fozzie Whitaker.
That's exactly what I saw when I saw.
So I don't understand if you already have this, exactly what we were just talking about with Tannehill and Jay Cutler. If you already have it, why do you want the same thing in a different shirt,
color?
in a different skin color? Yeah, like why do you want that? Oh, he's the pretty boy. We want him in Carolina for what? Our team is nothing but grit. Strong, hard hitting. We're gonna make you fumble and punch you in the mouth and shove our fists down your throat and make you swallow your teeth. That's our kind of offense.
Yeah.
Is Christian McCaffrey fitting in that offense? He tested 225, less than 5 reps.
He looked all right. 7 carries, 33 yards. That's what, like 3-4 yards a carry. He looked okay.
Now let me ask you a question. What kind of formations were we in for him to catch the ball 7 times for 33 yards?
It was double tight end. It was double tight end each time you ran. No. Yeah, I don't remember seeing a fullback on the field.
No.
What?
So it could have been a pass set.
Yeah.
Okay. So it wasn't a power running two back offense that we were used to running.
No, I didn't see it. I didn't see it.
So when we have 28 yards for 7 carries from James Stewart, right? What is the difference between his carries and Christian McCaffrey's? Or I said James Stewart, Jonathan Stewart. My bad. I don't know why I said that. I love the man. But like, what's the difference? Box isn't full. You are giving him double tight ends. And the flow of the game, you're thinking he's going out for a pass. So
he
he's
did not
getting
have
only
reception,
5.
by the way.
Yeah, he did not.
Yeah, that's another thing though. You could actually talk more about this than me, but like I think the big thing, like they were trying to have him obviously, as like that receiving back, but obviously Stewart wasn't in the game, but Christian McCaffrey was taking the first and second down carries, and then they were putting Fozzie Whitaker in at third down. I thought that was weird.
I don't want Jonathan Stewart playing anyway.
Yeah, but I just thought that was weird. It's like I thought McCaffrey was going to be that third down back, that receiving back. He did not have. What? He didn't have a catch. I don't even think
third down back.
He's not going to be first and second.
It's typically your strongest, bigger back.
I mean, if it's like third and 10, you're not going to bring third
passing third down.
Yeah,
third down.
That's what I'm saying. They put Fozzie Whitaker in that role, and they had
because Fozzie has the experience. Fozzie has the reputation that he's okay handling his own, and he doesn't really need a lot. So yeah, I agree with that part. But you realize you just put the same player in twice.
True.
I mean, Christian runs better routes. Ooh, sorry.
But that's weird to me though, because now it's making me think that y'all aren't going to play him this year because obviously Stewart didn't.
Fozzie?
No, McCaffrey.
No, he's playing. You're not going to sit.
But look at it this way: Jonathan Stewart's your bell cow. Fozzie Whitaker's that third down back. So where does that put McCaffrey?
Because Fozzie's not going to be the third down back. Fozzie's a package guy now.
Okay. Oh.
It's like Fozzie's not going to get a lot of burn. He got decent burn last year, but it was only because like we kind of needed him. Like Stewart got banged up slightly, and you don't want to put that many miles on him because he's older. You don't want to put that many miles on him just in case, because we were still in the playoff hunt.
Okay.
So, just in case we went to the playoffs last year, we didn't, but just in case we did, you would want him for the long haul, playing all those snaps. So, I understand that part. So, he did get decent burn, and then we were rotating in Cameron Artis-Payne, Fozzie, and then Mike Tolbert was getting halfback runs and fullback runs. And then we got Jonathan Stewart back healthier. And now that's 4 running backs plus Cam. And in the 5-yard line, you put them on the field almost at the same time. So now you can run a triple option, which is what we did a couple times. Like we just fake the dive or give the dive to Tolbert. He'll jump over the top. He did it already. You know what I'm saying? So either if we play fake that and then run out with a sprint out with Jonathan Stewart, that's 2 options right there because Cam can pump fake and keep it, or he can do a little shimmy and then throw it out. Just like he did in college, and he's done it before in the pros. Okay? Or you play fake Tolbert, he slips out the left side, and then you have a waggle going out, and all of a sudden throw a backside to Tolbert, which happened a lot. And he just slips out into the seam. Like right into the flats. Catches it. Touchdown. Where does Christian McCaffrey fit in this? He's a finesse guy. The second this guy goes downhill near the goal line, they're gonna go, he's sprinting out to the flats.
Yeah. That's what I would think.
Instantly press coverage. So now it's no longer even a run play. It has to be a pass play because we have 6'6" and 6'5" receivers. Or 6'4" receiver. And
KV caught a touchdown
too.
too.
Yeah, KV's nasty.
Yeah. And
I'm just glad he lost the weight, man.
Yeah, he looked good. He was leaping over the defender,
He
got it.
He can be better. He could be better. But I don't see Christian fitting in this. In crunch time, when you're in the red zone, this man's not touching the ball. In my opinion, he's not. They're gonna try to, but he's not gonna do very well.
He looks like a beloved JV player. He looks small as crap on the field. When he goes,
I don't disrespect that much.
No, he was tiny. He looked like a mighty.
No, he's small. He's really, really small.
No, wait, hold on. But the locker room loves him though. Every time he went off the field,
who's not gonna love a blonde-haired, blue-eyed white boy that's playing running back, running a 4.4? I'm gonna love him too. Like, if I'm in the same room as this kid and I can't really like touch him all like that one-on-one, oh, he's great. He's cool because everybody looks good in shorts and shirts. Milt, everybody looks good. Put him with 11 dudes ready to take his head off that don't wear the same color as him.
Yeah.
Come on, dude.
Yeah, my biggest takeaway.
This ain't college. You're not playing at Sanford with the #1 rated running offensive line. Imagine having Dallas in college. That was his offensive line. Playing equivalent to the Dallas team, you have who was some Swiss cheese on some defense, got the ball thrown down there. Like the Jets defense. Are you kidding me that you're gonna win every dime? That's exactly what Stanford did, running the ball. Their offensive line is like that.
Okay.
I don't see him doing anything really, really productive in the pros when everybody runs as fast or faster than him because he's not the fastest guy.
No. All I am saying is that he just on the field. I'm just saying, biggest takeaway, he looked all right. That's it. No, I mean, he looked all right, but not worth the #8 overall pick.
Yeah, he's
Definitely
not gonna look bad, but I don't. Man.
I can't wait to see Leonard Fournette, what he does. I hope he has his.
If this man breaks a single tackle, I would want to cry. I would be so mad. Even if it's a shoestring tackle, he just like leaps over somebody's hand. I'm gonna be pissed. I'm be so mad. Like, oh man, I wish.
Another takeaway from the game that's still going on now. Yeah, you guys, I love you guys. I'm talking to you while football's going on, so appreciate it.
Hey, I just want to let you know that the Panthers are leading the Texans 24-10.
24-10.
Yeah, just so you know.
Hold on.
Oh, Joe Webb.
Well, yeah, so when I was watching, and obviously the next young guy that you wanted to look at is Deshaun Watson. The few plays that I saw, he had a bad overthrow on a seam route. I think that was his first series. But he seemed, he looked almost Dak-like. And I say that to say not as accurate, but poised, took what the defense gave him, made great decisions. You came in, I think, on his third series, because his second series, it was a 3-and-out. He just handed the ball off. Same thing you saw the second series, I'm pretty sure. Took the short routes. He moved very, very well outside the pocket. Took what the defense gave him, but there was that one play where I think he got smacked, and he just threw it and way over like the dude's head. But just from that little bit, what you saw, what was your reaction to seeing Deshaun Watson? Because we were all in agreement that he should have been the first quarterback taken.
I need to see more from him, honestly, because coming from college to the pros, being Deshaun Watson, I can't judge him off of a preseason game this early in a half. You know what I'm saying? I can't do that. Like he's never been the guy. Yeah, but he's never been the guy to get the praise off the top. Like he's never been that guy. So like I'm not saying he doesn't perform. He performs, but he doesn't have that all-star personality. He doesn't attract a whole bunch of publicity other than the fact that he plays quarterback. So he's gonna take some time going in because he's playing the position of quarterback in a team that really doesn't have a lot. I mean, you have Alfred Blue, who I thought was gonna pop last year and didn't.
He's a decent. He's decent.
I honestly had high hopes for him last year. I'm not gonna lie. And everybody's like, no, he's not gonna be that good just because he didn't have a name. But he's a good kid. He just didn't. He didn't.
He's not like a superstar.
Yeah, he's not.
Back,
but
no.
he's gonna be a solid back. You have a couple of receivers.
Yeah, Hopkins.
Hopkins is nasty, but he's gonna attract too much attention, so he's kind of almost out of the equation.
Yeah, it looks like they're trying to get Braxton Miller into the fold more. They got this tight end Fedorowicz. I don't even know who Fedorowicz
I'm being honest
is.
with you. I'm not super familiar with their offense.
Yeah,
I'm really not. I'm
just saying that you got DeAndre Hopkins, who's a stud. They had Will Fuller, but he's going to be out because he broke his collarbone. So now they're going to be defending on Braxton Miller from Ohio State and
former quarterback who can, understand what defenses give him because he's used to looking at it from another angle.
I mean, don't get it twisted. Like, this team is defensive. You got J.J. Watt coming back, Jadeveon Clowney. They've always had a solid defense. What they've just been missing is a quarterback. And right now, as the game goes on, I'm just looking at the stats right now. The Texans, they have the quarterback battle going on. Tom Savage, Deshaun Watson. Tom Savage obviously got the start. 9 for 11, 69 yards. Deshaun Watson, for right now, I think Deshaun Watson's going to get more burn in this game, I'm pretty sure. But so far right now, 8 for 14, 121 yards. So, I mean, when we were watching him play, like, I guess by the time we turned off the game, he got, like, bigger chunk
It's
plays.
a different breed of players, though. As the game goes on, you take out more of your first and second strings and put in your second and thirds.
Yeah, definitely. I'm just saying he wasn't so terrible where, like, if this is actually a quarterback competition and you're not just giving it over to Tom Savage, Deshaun Watson's playing well, let him go the second season game. Let him start it.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. That I can see them switching it.
Yeah.
How many preseason games are the Texans playing this year?
4. Yeah, because they weren't in the Hall of Fame games before. The biggest one that they're going to have to look out with is for
I wasn't sure if they gave everybody 5. Or if it was just a couple more.
Who was in the Hall of Fame game? Oh, Cowboys and Cardinals. They have to play 5.
Yeah.
But that third preseason game. Let's say Deshaun Watson, you put him with the starters in the second preseason game.
No, that's going to be something different. He'll start the second preseason.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But then whoever outperforms the other out of those 2 games is going to get the start. And
I would even start whoever the third preseason game, but switch off every series or give one quarterback a series or 2 to get going, and give the other quarterback.
The third preseason game is a lot of like.
No, you
play a half. Like that's like the time when they all like the starters all play the most.
Yeah.
So I can see
some of them even play until the third quarter. So that's what I'm saying. If you have a quarterback competition like that, I'm switching off every few series.
I'll say 2. I wouldn't say every one because I want to see
like
how my quarterback
responds.
Yeah.
And all that.
Like let's say he got a 3 and out. Oh, okay. Now let's put now he has to sit there and watch somebody else play. How long is he sitting? He can't get a rhythm. So I can say like maybe 2 or 3 series.
Yeah.
Switch off because that's about like what, almost a quarter.
Pretty much.
In preseason, that's almost a quarter.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, and then I'll put Deshaun in there for 3 series. See how he reacts. See how he feels after he gets a little bit of momentum and gets a groove going. And then in the second half, you kind of do the same thing and then take them both out in the fourth quarter.
I'm all about playing with my shiny new toy, so obviously I'm for Deshaun Watson starting right away. But I always say that though. I always say
if you don't read the instructions to your toy, you're not going to play with it right. You're not going to let it perform.
This computer desk. Actually, we did read the instructions for it. Okay, never mind. We did. All right, up next, Max is going to give his little take on who he thinks is going to walk out of the NFC East. You're not listening to The Pylon.
Search for my heart. Well, baby, you can have it all.
All right. Don't ask why we're laughing. Don't. So, I just put up my prediction video for the NFC East. I, against my best interest, chose the Dallas Cowboys, who I absolutely hate, but I'm an objective person, so basically, Max, what I was saying is that Redskins are out of the equation. Why? Because they lost too much talent this offseason. They're banking on unproven new talent to just come in first year and light it up. I personally have a feeling that Redskins ownership want the Redskins to fail because they're trying to be too cheap and trying to pay Kirk Cousins, even though they're at a standoff. And what they did is basically a guy who you know has potential. Maybe he's not one of the best quarterbacks in the league, but I feel like, I mean, you can win with him. And who else are you going to have? That's the way I look at Kirk Cousins. I mean, who else is out there? But they don't want to pay that man the money. He's asking for way too much. So how do you respond? You slap a tag on him, which means you're just dating for this next year. And you take away the dude's top 2 receivers. And then you have in a guy from Cleveland, Terrell Pryor. I know he had a great year, but he's still relatively unproven. Redskins fans, oh, we have Josh Doxson. Dude was injured last year, so what are you excited about? Jamison Crowder, he's been a number 3 his whole career. He's good, he's talented, but I mean, really, you have a ragtag team of receivers up there, and the defense is still trash. Yeah, Jonathan Allen, who was seen as a top pick, but he dropped down in the draft for a reason. So I feel like the Redskins are a very incomplete team, and if you don't even have the support of your ownership, why should I expect you to do anything in the division? I had the Eagles finishing 3rd, just based off, I like their roster, honestly, the way the additions they have. You know, they brought in Torrey Smith, Alshon Jeffrey, Carson Wentz. I like him. He's going to be better than Jared Goff. He's going to take a step forward. Their defensive line is going to be absolutely disgustingly nasty, especially when you got Jim Shorts and the type of defensive lineman they have, where it's just attack, and penetrate, get upfield. They're very, very athletic. I like the way the Eagles are built, honestly, and I might even pick them to win the division next year, but you know, you still have to go through those growing pains like even Oakland did last year before you can really become a contender. So I'm just going to pump the brakes on them for a little bit. So that leaves Giants in Dallas. The only pretty much reason why I picked Dallas over the Giants, Zeke's suspension pending. Let's say if it's like 2-3 games, I'm still going to pick Dallas. But if it's like, 6 games or whatever, I might have to jump back over on New York. But the main reason I picked Dallas is because Eli Manning's a bum, and Dak Prescott showed enough. Dak Prescott's not a flash in the pan like RG3, where he just relied on splash plays, reading one read offense before taking off. Like, no, he's a traditional, great, young, poised quarterback, and I trust him. He's always going to make good decisions, as opposed to Eli. Eli's going to be another year older. They have a bad offensive line. They don't have a running back. It just spells doom, especially when you have Eli who's growing senile and just making all those horrible decisions.
I wish I could disagree with you. I really wanted to disagree with you.
I want to disagree with myself, honestly.
I don't like the Cowboys because they are just nothing but a circus, and they're never going to win anything serious while Jerry Jones is there. I feel like he's the most toxic in that organization, honestly. But I do agree that Dak he's more like Russell Wilson, and I said this before on here. Like he plays so well. He reads everything so well, and he looks like he plays too fast for the game. Like, because the way he sees everything, it's just so simple. He's just, boom, boom, that's where the ball goes. Boom, boom, that's where it goes. Everybody's covered. Look at my line. I run here and I slide. He's not taking hits. Like he's like a real quarterback.
Yeah, like
he showed all this in year one.
Yeah, like
in year one. So next year, I think he's gonna be cool. I really do think he's gonna be alright. Their defense.
They lost everyone. That's the thing. But here's the thing I want to add about their defense, which even surprised me last year, is that they weren't seen as a talented defense even last year, and they still finished. if they didn't finish top 5, I know they finished as the best run defense, but they had a pretty good defense. They overachieved as a defense last year, so that has to be a testament, not to talent, but to coaching. It's all coaching.
I'll give you that. In my opinion, if your team has a very strong run offense, you guys have a very good run stopping defense.
See, and I didn't even realize that.
Typically, yeah.
I didn't even realize that. Like how much of an impact that the running game could have.
Yeah, because you have to practice it all the time. You have to go against it all the time. And if we're saying in practice, let's make sure that our zone blocks are really good. Guess what also is getting trained as you do that? Your defense, to see certain run schemes that hurt them. So guess what happens when in a game when we see that? We already know how to react, So I do think that their defense is going to be decent. Their run defense is going to be pretty good. That's going to be the tipping factor in a game. But if Zeke is out for 6 games, I'm going major scale here, major, worst case scenario is 6 games. I don't see them making it past. They're projected to be 4-2 in the first 6 games? Who are they playing?
They play one of the top offenses. I'm about to look it up.
Well, while you do that, I don't see them. I can see them going 500 in the first 6 games if Zeke is not there. Depending on who they're playing, I don't really see them being able to control the ball. I don't see them being able to really force people into the box to get offensive advantage numbers on the outside. So now you're going to rely on Dak Prescott to throw the ball when people know that he's going to throw the ball and try to disguise coverages. I don't see that benefiting you in the long run when your offense is not built to do that.
I'm looking at the schedule right now. Okay, they open up against New York, the Giants.
That's a tough one.
Yeah, it could go. That one could go either way because the Giants match up well with them. That's a division game. It's a toss. It's
a rivalry game.
Yeah,
you don't know.
Next, they go against the Broncos.
When?
Second week. So here's the thing. Broncos don't have an offense. The Cowboys, they're going to have their whole offense intact except for Zeke. But here's the thing.
No. Do their offense against the Cowboys defense, and I give that edge to the Cowboys defense because Broncos offense is that bad.
Mm-hmm. And here's where it would hurt them is that the Broncos have top 2 secondary,
right?
And they had a horrible run defense last year.
Right.
So in that game, you'd be like, dang, Zeke, come on, we could have really used you here. But I still think the Cowboys could take that.
But he's definitely gone for that game. He's definitely gone for that game.
I mean,
his suspension is 2 or more. He's at least gone for 2 weeks.
Now here's the thing, that they open with New York. They could easily lose that game.
Mm-hmm.
Against the Broncos with that great defense, they could easily lose that game. So they could potentially be 4-2. All
right. They could be 0-2,
but they could easily be 2-0.
If by some way Zeke plays, they're winning that the Denver game.
Yeah.
If Zeke does not play, they are losing that game because you're going to force a great passing defense to do what they do best and just sit back and wait for the pass against a sophomore quarterback who he hasn't had to show that he can win a game by just strictly throwing.
Yeah.
So if this defense led the league in defensive scoring a couple years ago, and they're not too far removed from that in terms of players.
I feel like that game without Zeke is just going to come down to who makes the biggest mistake, who makes the most mistakes, who makes the wrong mistake at the wrong time.
And that's going to be Dallas.
I mean, Trevor Siemian. Actually, he's not talked about. Trevor Siemian's not a transcendent quarterback, but I mean,
I don't care about Denver's offense. I'm saying Denver's defense is going to keep them in the game, give them field position, and prevent. They're going to basically give Denver the ball more time than Dallas is going to have the ball if Zeke does not play.
Yeah.
If Zeke plays, that game is entirely different, and I give it to Denver. So they can easily go 0-2 in the first 2 games without Zeke because of rivalry game, and you're playing into the other team's hands by only throwing the ball.
Then next they're gonna have the Cardinals, which I'm not even gonna comment on that because I'm biased. I'm biased for the Cardinals. I love the Cardinals.
I'm saying they're losing that game either way.
The Cardinals?
No, I think the Cardinals are winning that game. I'm saying Dallas might. I think they're gonna lose that game.
I love the Cardinals. They're gonna. All right, the next game is the Rams. They're gonna smack all over them.
Smack. So according to us both, are they 2-2 at this point, or are they 1-3?
By the time they go against the Rams,
I'm kind of saying they're 1-3.
but it's on this. It's all about the Zeke thing. So are we saying with or without Zeke?
All right. The first 4 games. Let's go with the first 4 games. I'm saying they're 1-3 without Zeke.
That could happen. It could.
1-3, and I'm not saying it because he's that good. I'm saying it because you become one-dimensional.
Yeah, and running games are made for November and December and all that. So I mean, even if you finish
road games don't play.
Yeah, so what I'm saying. So we're gonna get back to the first half in a minute, but you look at these later games. By now against the 49ers, Zeke should be back. They're gonna smack that. Redskins,
yeah, they're winning that
they're
game
gonna smack
without
that.
him too.
Chiefs, they're not with Zeke in there. Cowboys are gonna win. Falcons, that's a toss. That's a toss.
What week are we at?
This is November 12th. I don't know what week.
So week 7. Without Zeke in the first 4 games, I'm giving them a 1-3. Their week 5 is
Packers. They're winning that. Packers are winning that one.
Oh, okay.
Without Zeke, they're winning that one.
All right, let's see.
I got bye week 6.
All right. Look at this. Oh my God, I don't want to do that.
No, I mean.
No, they're 2-3. They're 2-3.
Let's say by.
No, they're not. They're 1-4.
Here we go. We're about to predict the Dallas Cowboys record. All right, let's go.
Oh my
All
goodness.
I'm saying is that second half of the year, the only 2 games where 3, you really have to be scared are week 14 at New York, at Raiders, and then Seahawks coming to town. So that
you're not worried about the Falcons at week 10? You're bugging.
No,
Don't do that.
During that week, I'm probably gonna
Milton.
No, Falcons can win. What I'm saying is that week 10 by then, I'm probably gonna be sold out and just I'm picking Dallas. If Zeke is in there, I'm picking
What was the first
Falcons.
topic we talked about today? Devont'a Freeman.
Yeah.
And Julio Jones.
Yeah.
Against you.
Falcons. Falcons went 11-5 last night, right? Or last year, right?
That means nothing to me.
People act like they went like 14-2
no,
or 13-3.
they did not, but what I'm saying is that offense versus the Dallas Cowgirls defense.
Falcons
they're putting up 35. They're putting up 35.
Falcons don't have a defense like that either.
They're putting up 35.
Dallas is putting up 38.
Everybody, shut up. Hell no, they're not.
All right.
Yeah, with Zeke. Yeah, I mean he's back by this point. This is week 8, 10.
Yeah. All right. Here's what I'm going to say is that the Cowboys are basically going to have to make do because 3 straight weeks you have at New York, at Oakland, then you have Seahawks.
Toss up, and maybe a loss.
All right. Giants toss up, lost Raiders, lost Seahawks.
What?
Yes, I don't think Cowboys are going to beat Raiders or Seahawks. Barring some significant injury.
I still said a loss to Seattle. The Raiders is a toss-up because at that point, I don't know what they're going to be because they can be 2 teams. They can be a really young, inexperienced, really hyped-up team that starts to fizzle out because the adrenaline wore off.
That's what happened last year. I feel like they're more mature.
Which is why I'm saying it's a toss-up. But if that doesn't happen, they are getting tossed by the Raiders.
Yeah.
They're getting tossed, okay? So that right there is a toss-up between the Raiders and the Seattle Seahawks. Ooh, and the Seattle Seahawks. And
here's what I'm going to say. We're just focusing on the Cowboys. What I'm going to say is that even for this division,
and the Giants.
Yeah, but for this division, no team in this division is going to peak out at 13-3. If Dallas played their starters against Philly in the final week, they would have been 14-2. But anyway, no team is going to be 14-2.
No, they're not. But
they're going to be finishing 10-6, 9-7, something like that. But
I'll give them 9-7.
Yeah,
I'll give them 9-7.
Something like that. Like I could see the Eagles, the Giants, and the Cowboys all around that 7-9 to 10-6 gap, where it's going to be close coming into in the final weeks of the season. Looking at the Cowboys' schedule right now, what I am saying, regardless if Zeke gets suspended or not, if he does, Dak is going to have to put on some big boy pants and carry that team. Because the Broncos, they could very well lose. The Cardinals, they could very well lose. I'm picking Green Bay in Week 5 anyway. And then, so that's 3 games right there. To end the season, at New York, at Raiders, at Seahawks. That's another 3-game stretch. It's really, really hard. So
they're not at the Seahawks.
Oh, yeah, sorry. They have Seahawks at home, but
Okay.
yeah.
You scared me.
Yeah, what I'm saying is that they're going to have to try to steal a couple of games to make up for in case they drop one of those games at the end of the season. I can't wait to see Oakland versus...
I'm going to go back a couple topics. Deshaun Watson is 14 for 22, 173 yards, no touchdowns, no picks. I mean, they're still losing, except my Carolina Panthers, but I just want to say that.
Backups. You playing against the backups, put them with the starters. Give them DeAndre Hopkins.
Hey. Yeah, but think about it, though. You ramp up who he's playing against and ramp up his...
Yeah, I know. I was thinking of that.
How many of those are drops?
We're not watching. I guess we got to go back and watch.
We need to watch.
We'll watch highlights. If I ever comment on this preseason game, we were doing the show during the preseason game, so I didn't see the whole thing. We saw parts of it. So.
Sorry, guys. I ran late.
But yeah, I'm just going to close out the show real quick and just say that I cannot wait to see Dallas versus Oakland, just because you have the 2 young quarterbacks. I feel like you're going to be... This is Peyton Manning and Tom Brady. It's Dak Prescott, Derek Carr. Future. I know.
I think it's the future.
People said it. People said...
you know what? I can't argue. I'm not gonna argue.
I've seen the whole future, quarterback head-to-head. It started with Matt Ryan and Joe Flacco. That's... Yeah. They're not considered best at their position. Yeah. Then it became a whole cluster of Andrew Luck, Cam Newton, RG3, Russell Wilson. RG3 isn't even in the whole picture anymore. He's not even on a team anymore. Andrew Luck's having his struggles. Cam Newton's trying to bounce back. And then I really think I could see Derek Carr and Dak Prescott just being that consistent presence. I see greatness for Derek Carr. I think the Raiders have to win a Super Bowl under him. I feel like playing on the Dallas Cowboys will keep Dak from winning a Super Bowl, but he'll make a lot of NFC Championship games.
Good call.
All right, that's all we have for today. It's been Max and Milton. You've now listened to The Pylon.